I have Rick Strew with me, of course. He's your disability rep here. Always good to see you,
Likewise.
sir.
Likewise, Tom.
Okay, when it comes to Social Security claims and things like that, there are times you have to go before a judge. You have a hearing of sorts. There's more than one way to skin a cat when it comes to that sort of thing.
Yeah, there most definitely is. And a lot of people get scared of the hearing process.
Sure.
They'll abandon their claim. They'll give up before they get there. Let me say this first of all.
Okay.
In my opinion, the judge hearing is the most meaningful part of the process. You get to speak to the decision maker directly. You have that interaction back and forth. To that point, everything you've communicated with Social Security has been by paper, by questionnaires, by forms. They don't understand your claim nearly as well in those initial levels as they will in that hearing. So you've got to make sure you go to these things.
So it's a one-to-one kind of relationship that you're trying to establish.
Yeah, it really is. Judge will question them directly. If you have a representative, the representative will help with the questioning. Sometimes they'll bring in medical or vocational experts.
Mm-hmm.
A representative will help argue with those professional experts to advance your claim. But since COVID, there's been 3 ways to essentially have a hearing.
Okay.
One of those is they started doing a lot of phone hearings. And it's just simply that. They call you on the phone, the time and date of the hearing, you speak to them. You rely on the old AT&T, Southwestern Bell. You can also have a video conference. They use an MS Teams product. It's much like Zoom. Real simple. They send you a link. You click on it. It opens up the camera on your cell phone. You point it at your face and you talk to the judge. You can see the judge there on the screen. And then, of course, in person. Drag you into a courtroom, sit down across from the judge, and visit with them the old-fashioned way.
Okay. Any advantages one over the other? I mean, I tend to like the face-to-face myself.
Yeah.
If I were in that situation.
Well, and I would too, right? I mean, it's a life-changing event. If you get approved for disability or if you don't, I certainly want to have that face-to-face personally. But, I don't suffer from crippling anxiety. I don't have PTSD issues. I'm not riddled with agoraphobia.
Yeah.
Getting up and leaving the house isn't a big deal to me. It is to a lot of my clients.
Sure.
And so, if you have those anxiety disorders or agoraphobia, those are fantastic workarounds to just have the telephone call, not have to have that interaction, not run into people in the public that upset you. Days like the last couple, if it snows 6, 7, 8 inches, you don't have to get out and fight the weather. That's obviously an anxiety-producing event for a lot of people. Overall, phone hearings are easy.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty quick to schedule because judges have a tighter schedule with phone hearings than if they have to wait for people to show up, and the phone hearings tend to go quicker, and so they're a little snappier, and so a lot of times they get scheduled a little quicker too.
Isn't it sometimes better just to have a judge be able to see you, though?
Well, it is, and this is the other workaround. You can have video hearings where you can see the judge on the computer screen. There's still no travel. Couple problems with them, though, is Southwestern Bell and AT&T have the phone system down really well. Internet, not so well, especially in the areas outside of Springfield. So if the internet doesn't work that day for whatever reason, a lot of times the judge won't just switch you to a phone hearing. They'll reschedule your hearing for another video hearing. And realistically, that's sometimes 3-4 month delay.
And that can produce more anxiety too.
It certainly can, and it just it takes longer to get the process resolved. So there are some problems with those. The other option is to go in for an in-person hearing.
What is your role then? Being a disability rep, and what is your role in this? Because I can speak to the judge, but where do you fit in there?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, we help with the questioning of the claimant. We help respond to any testimony that we don't like in the claimant. We get to circle back, clean those things up. There's still vocational and sometimes medical experts in the hearing that testify about facts of the case. We still have the opportunity to contest those, to refute them, to elicit other testimony. So the role's the same because the process is the same.
Okay.
I appear by video or by teleconference too, in the event the claimant selects one of those. The other option is you go in person. And for some people, it's just a better option. People that have nervous tics or have anxiety issues or have shakes or tremors, it shows a lot better. It does take a little longer to get those scheduled sometimes. Just sometimes they work better for people, and you like to have that interaction face-to-face, one-on-one.
Is that something you can also recommend to a client? It would be better if you did it this way.
It is, and when you get in there, talk to people, read medical records, you get a pretty good feel for what people's capacities are, right? I mean, it's part of what I do is judge people's capacities and try to help in pointing out their limitations. And so, I have some input, and we can kind of guide people. Some judges I prefer in person versus video, that sort of thing too.
Lawyers do the same thing.
It's old hat. We've been around, and so we have some insight as to what might work out the best in the end.
People want to be able to speak to you, set up an appointment, whatever it might be. How do they do that?
Yeah, the 417-812-6698 is direct to my desk. We obviously want to be approachable. I think that's the way they should start. It's best for me if you just give me a call. You can also click on the QR code, set an appointment, come in and see me. Just like when we're talking about judges, some people want to come in and see you face to face, and I'm happy to do that as well.
All right, Roy, thank you so much. There's the man you want to call. Your disability rep, Roy Rickstrew.